If you've ever wanted to create beautiful Christmas wrapped gifts, then this tutorial is for you. Of course, if you never intend to wrap a gift and just want to fall asleep, well, you're also in the correct place. Tingles with flyby. Daily ASMR videos. Hello. Today I'll be teaching you how to wrap a gift. Gift wrapping is a way to conceal the contents of a package from the recipient until the desired time. It's also a way to present a gift in an elegant and beautiful way. It adds an extra step to the gift giving process, which can add an element of fun and a mystery. Additionally, it can show the person you're giving a gift to that you care and are willing to put in just that extra effort to make that person feel very, very special. So I'll be wrapping 4 items. We have a 3DS, a couple games, and an adapter. We'll start off with the 3DS. Now, when you are looking at something, it may be tempting to put this face up, but it's best to put it face down. So that when you open it, or any tape that gets put on, that tape is done on the back where it will be less of a problem. So, with your item in the middle of your piece of wrapping paper, fold up from the top and then secure with a piece of tape. You can press that down just to make sure that it sits secure. Now with this particular wrapping paper, there is a little bit of a wonky line. So lining up in perfect alignment is not as important. But if you have a very linear paper, you may want to pay a bit more attention. Now we bring down the bottom, the top. And if you smooth it out, you can even add a nice crease at the edge with your nails and secure that with a piece of tape. Now we see our box edges are here. We can put a little creasing so that we can see exactly where that edge is. And we can see we probably have a lot more than we need. And so we'll just come over and gently cut. If you have any rumpling up like this, just lift this up and gently replace the other piece at the bottom. These sorts of pieces can be set to the side and used to create a tag if you don't have other tags. Now we'll cut a bit off this other side as well. Again, we'll just set these pieces off to the side. Now that we have a good amount on the sides, what we'll do is begin to fold this in. It'll begin to have a little, if you push this down, begin to have a bit right here where it doesn't quite hold together, but if you pull this point in, that can all be smoothed out just by playing, by pushing that behind. And pushing and smoothing out. You'll have more success if you crease down towards the bottom as well, so that the paper has a better idea of where it needs to go. You put a nice firm crease in the side. Bring this over and just push a nice crease in there. Just push the nice firm creases in and then fold up, and we'll hold that down with a piece of tape. make sure everything's nice and tucked away underneath so you don't get any bulging of the paper. Now we'll fold down this other side as well. Again, if we crease in at the bottom, we'll have a bit more success. Because you just want it to stay nice and flush at the bottom there. So you pull in this side in. There we go. And just crease that down. Nice crease there. And we hold it down. With a piece of tape. For this one, because this is being a little testy, lengthened out the piece of tape so we can have it hold down that problematic area as well. And there, our gift is now covered. You can, of course, prepare your 3 pieces of tape so that you'll be ready to wrap your gifts without having to stop. In this case, you may elect not to put this initial piece down. When you do that, though, you do want to make sure you have a nice, tight fit, or else it can be a little problematic. Just let the natural fold, pull the wrapping paper over, and then just fold that up, flatten everything out with a nice press, and place our tape down. And you can see, once you get the hang of it, you can make quite quick work of your wrapping. You may see an unevenness like this and want to fix it up. You can do that either by cutting, but you can also do it by just folding onto the paper. But I think in this instance we will cut it. Just getting a little too much bulk there. Of course, it's not essential that everything be even. It's more about what your preference is. And just want to work these under nice and flat. What you'll see here is that even though on the back we can feel a little bit of areas where it's popping out, when we come to the front, none of that is visible. And that's the ideal. It's all about how the package looks from the front and the sides. We have another game here, which I think I broke my rule on the last one, and we didn't put it face down. So when you are the one wrapping, you can improve on that method. But the most important thing with wrapping is to make sure you're having fun. Having something perfect is not so much important as having something done by you. It's that personal touch that really makes all the difference. Now the benefit of this roll method, where we haven't put that first piece of tape, is if we see here, you can see this edge and this edge, so this isn't quite centered in the paper. So we can actually push it down. So now we've got a bit more evenness, which will make our job easier when we're finishing our wrapping. Now sometimes you may need to kind of work your wrapping over your finger by inserting your finger into the wrapping. I'll show you on this other side. So if we pull it, put our finger in like this, and then start to wrap it around, makes it a bit easier to get that how we desire it. So that's something to keep in mind. Push that down. We can put a nice crease in here just to add a nice element to the wrapping. Pull this out. This serves to somewhat round the paper, to just get it to sit how you want it to, so that the fold will work as intended. So we don't get that corner creased before we want it to. It can just be very handy for that. Now we fold this over. Kind of manipulating the air pockets until we're happy with it. Remembering it'll give a little when you let it up. So we now have 3 of our gifts done. Now on this last item, you'll sometimes have something tricky like this tag at the top. The best way to deal with something like that is just to simply tape it down to make the shape as rectangular as we can. It's going to make it a lot easier to wrap. So I'll turn this sideways. Be a little bit easier to do like that. You can center that. And my tape is not quite holding, so we may need an additional piece of tape. It's only really necessary while you're folding. Once you've got the item wrapped, you will generally have enough. Now, this is a key point. When your paper is coming over, you want it to go, we don't generally want this to go all the way over the edge, but nor do we want it to be really tight to this edge. Generally want it to be a bit over the middle point. So about 3/4 or 7/8 is a good distance for that to come. And then we'll just want to pull the second side around as tight as we can get it. And if you have paper like this, you will probably want to try and line up the elements so that it will look symmetrical. Now here again, we've probably got a bit extra. And again, we can save these extra little pieces for tags. Good. Some pieces off there. Sometimes these seem to fold almost magically into place, and other times they're a little more testy. As you practice and improve your skill, a lot of that guesswork will come out of it. But we're all still practicing in reality. Now, if you have a piece like this, you usually want probably a really nice point. And you have a couple different options of how to achieve that point. My preference is just to fold this in so it just kind of tucks under, just like so. And when you come up here, you're none the wiser that it was anything other than a nice point. Again, you find this kind of rolling motion to get everything in order. Have a little more difficulty since this is our non-angular end, but we still just follow those same techniques, pushing in, laying in the creases, and then finishing off with a nice piece of tape. So, once you have your gifts wrapped, from my perspective, the job is still only half done. Now it's time to embellish these gifts. There are lots of different ways that you can embellish gifts. You can use nice, stiff ribbon, or you can use pre-made bows. There are endless varieties. My favorite is just going with something simple and classic, and I'll be showing you how I use just a simple ribbon. I'll pull a length out. You want to know that you'll be able to get around this side of the package and this side of the package with one single piece and a little bit to spare. Now on this, you're going to start on the front of the package, about halfway through your ribbon. So you'll have two ends hanging off either side. Then you turn your package over. When you turn your package over, going to cross these and then turn them at right angles. Now, the important part here, whatever you press in, you want to be sure that the pretty side of your ribbon is going to be the part showing on the front. So you may have a little bit of this kind of appearance on the back, but as we already know, it's the front that matters. So then you'll wrap these back around. You're just going to do a simple tie here. You'll notice here I then get both ugly sides, or reverse sides as you may call them, to be face up. And then I'm going to bring this through. You want your finger in place here to hold everything where you want it, or else everything will get a lot more difficult. And you're just going to complete this tie by pulling it tight. You may need to kind of switch your fingers through to be able to manipulate it as desired. But in the end, you should be able to get a nice little knot. And you can adjust it a little bit. You can make sure these are a bit straight. And what I love about these little ribbons is that you can take and curl the ribbon just by taking them against the straight edge of the scissors. You get a beautiful little curl. Very simple, very elegant. And you can see we've ended up with a nice, elegant looking gift. So now we'll embellish our main gift. If you don't get things exactly even, it doesn't really matter. You can play a lot with this. You can alternate colors. You can put a bow on underneath if you also have a bow. There are lots of options available to you. Line that up how we want that lined up, and then work on tying this. You will notice this can be a little finicky to deal with because it is all curled up. And so that's where the maneuvering with your fingers can make it easier to deal with. Just swapping back and forth as you need. And then of course, while this looks okay, it'll look even better once we've given it a nice little curl. And you can kind of pull these out, fluff them around until they get the look that you like. You might like them kind of bunched together or separated apart so they hang down like ringlets. It's of course completely up to you. You can also use this to group presents together. So we could put these two together with some ribbon. Again, we'll just want to make sure we have plenty of ribbon to go around. And you'll start from the front. This will take a little more maneuvering to make sure you get everything where you want it. Just put them nice and aligned. And again, we're going to try and push these so that they're going pretty side up and they come around to the front. And you can see this has gotten off a little bit. We'll worry about that in a second. Just going to get these face up. And we're going to push that in just about there. And then we'll try and straighten that up to how we want it. Maybe a little off. That's okay. There's no need to strive for any sort of perfection. Here we've got an interesting little knot. If you get something like that, it's a good opportunity to add a little extra embellishment to your gift, which you can do by taking this and tying it around. And we can use it to cover up or add a little different focus. Of course, we'll want to curl off all of our pieces. And you'll notice now no one is the wiser for our little boo-boo on the tie. And you can still try and manipulate this a bit to get it more at the angle that you desire. Pulling things down, shifting them around, and just getting it so you're happy. But I think overall that looks pretty good. So we have our various gifts that we've wrapped all here